Inside this American factory, billions of dollars are printed each day. These printing machines produce banknotes almost automatically. So, this is where your inflation actually begins. This is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing in Fort Worth, where over 50% of the U.S. national currency is made. On average, the Fort Worth facility produces more than $29 million of banknotes every hour, which works out to hundreds of millions of dollars per day. FW on a dollar banknote means that it was produced in Fort Worth, Texas. The stacks of dollar bills you have at home were made in this printer. Bureau of Engraving and Printing has been printing money like wild in an effort to pay down the roughly $38 trillion debt of the United States. While it is not new for the government to print money to cover some debt, what is new is that 40% of existing U.S. dollars have been printed in the last 12 months alone. There are currently approximately 65 billion notes in circulation among American citizens. As you can see, the whole production process starts with the design of new banknotes. Experts in design, security features, and history are consulted to ensure the note is visually appealing, secure against counterfeiting, and historically or culturally accurate. The design process starts with simple drawings of the front and back of the bill. These drawings are then turned into detailed full-color versions. The designs are reviewed and changed many times before they are approved. This whole process can take up to 3 years depending on how complex the design is and what security features need to be added. Next, it is time to prepare the banknote paper. U.S. banknotes are made from a unique blend of 75% cotton and 25% linen, giving them a fabric-like feel. This is what makes them durable and difficult to tear. It takes about 8 days to produce a U.S. dollar bill from raw paper to final circulation's ready form. Holographic images are made using a process called micro-replication. A special type of film is first imprinted with the holographic pattern. This pattern is then transferred to a foil strip used in U.S. currency. The hologram is not simply printed. As you can see, it is applied using a special coating or foil material that gives it a shiny, reflective, and interactive appearance. The cotton and linen mix gives the bills a unique texture, making it easier to feel the difference between real and fake notes. Now comes the production phase called intaglio printing. This printing technique is crucial for both the visual quality and security of the banknote, as it makes the bills difficult to counterfeit. The designs are engraved into steel plates. An engraver uses a sharp tool or specialized machine to etch the design into the surface of the plate. This engraving process is incredibly precise and detailed, allowing for fine lines, text, and images with remarkable clarity. Each bill is inspected for errors such as smudging, ink misalignment, or missing security features. Now, counterfeit bills can be easily detected due to imperfections in the intaglio printing process, making it a crucial security feature of U.S. paper money. Each plate can carry only a single color at a time, so multiple plates are used for different ink colors. The term painting is sometimes used informally to describe the printing process, which involves multiple techniques and color layers. However, U.S. dollars are not hand-painted. They are printed using a combination of traditional methods and modern technology. There are only 2 places in the United States where U.S. banknotes are made. One is in Fort Worth, Texas, and the other is in Washington, D.C. You can tell a Fort Worth banknote by a small symbol printed on it. The U.S. government has no direct influence on the number of banknotes printed. The number of new banknotes is determined and ordered by the Federal Reserve. In short, if the Federal Reserve wants to change the number of notes in circulation, it instructs the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which then prints the notes. You are now watching the banknote paper being processed and prepared for cutting into individual bills. Employees in this government agency are required to follow strict safety precautions. Over 60% of U.S. dollars are held outside the United States, making the dollar one of the most widely used currencies in the world. Each U.S. bill has a unique serial number that helps identify it. The serial number has 8 digits, and the 2-letter prefix corresponds to the Federal Reserve District that issued the bill. After paper production comes the printing process, followed by cutting and sorting. The final part of the production process is packaging and distribution among the Federal Reserve Bank. After drying, long sheets of paper are cut into smaller sheets that are the correct size for U.S. banknotes. These sheets are then ready for the next stage, which is the printing process. Each sheet of paper is checked for quality and consistency. This includes inspecting the weight, texture, and security features of the paper. If any defects or inconsistencies are found, the sheets are discarded. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing can print about 8,000 sheets of U.S. currency per day. Each sheet contains 32 bills, which totals roughly 250,000 bills per day. 1 ton of $100 bills is worth about $95 million, a huge amount that shows just how much U.S. money is in use. Believe it or not, in 1930 you could buy 8 movie tickets for $1. In 1960, the power of a dollar was such that it could buy you 5 hamburgers. And 25 years ago, in 2000, a gallon of gas cost only $1 on average. And this is the way the U.S. dollar loses value over the decades. Unfortunately, this process happens to all currencies around the world. Bills last longer when they are used less frequently. So higher denomination bills tend to last longer because they are used less often than lower denominations, like $1 bills. These production halls are secure storage areas monitored by state-of-the-art surveillance systems. Cameras are placed throughout the vaults, warehouses, and transportation routes to provide real-time monitoring of the currency's storage and handling. The team of people who produce American money is huge. Around 1,500 employees and contractors work at facilities in Washington and Fort Worth. The average wage for these factory workers is just under $40 per hour. These workers serve as loaders, supervisors, and, to a large extent, as service staff who operate the printing machines. Although about 40% of Americans are cashless in their weekly spending habits, more than $2 trillion of U.S. currency is in circulation. Although about 40% of Americans are cashless in their weekly spending habits, more than $2 trillion of U.S. currency is in circulation. Before bills are allowed to enter circulation, they undergo a rigorous inspection process using specialized cameras and software. The offline currency inspection system ensures that no defects or errors have occurred during production. Bills that do not pass this inspection are discarded, ensuring only perfectly produced currency reaches the public. While the $1 bill does not include all of the features seen on higher denominations, other bills have more advanced security measures. These include subtle background colors, larger denominations featuring a portrait watermark visible under light, and ink that shifts color when tilted. Each U.S. bill is embedded with red and blue security fibers that are distributed randomly, adding an extra layer of protection. The distinctive green color of U.S. paper currency was chosen because green ink was abundant and resistant to chemical fading, making the notes harder to counterfeit. While U.S. paper money is mostly made of cotton and linen, other countries like Canada and Australia have adopted polymer notes, which are more durable and also more difficult to counterfeit. Employees working in these facilities are trained to operate the special machines that produce the intricate designs, which are then stamped onto the banknote paper. Their main responsibility is to oversee and control the entire banknote production process. The $1 bill contains hidden symbols, such as the symbol above the pyramid on the Great Seal. If you look closely, the eagle on the $1 bill holds an olive branch in one talon and 13 arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and strength. The printing machines at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing in Fort Worth are made by Koenig and Bauer AG, a German company and one of the world's leading manufacturers of banknote printing presses. The special banknote paper used by the BEP is supplied by Crane Currency. The BEP itself operates the presses and handles much of the maintenance. According to their own documentation, they use state-of-the-art intaglio presses, 57-ton machines, and large offset presses. To make counterfeiting harder, different parts of a bill's design, such as the portrait, lettering, ornaments, and other elements, are each engraved by different, specially trained engravers. Since 1955, all U.S. notes must include "In God We Trust." Also, the portraits on the bills must be of deceased individuals, by law. The currency is stored in high-security vaults that are designed to prevent unauthorized access. The vaults are equipped with multiple layers of physical security, including reinforced steel doors, advanced alarm systems, and 24/7 surveillance. It is often necessary to transport huge amounts of cash. Dunbar Armored is one of the companies that provides armored transport services for U.S. currency and other valuables, including U.S. dollar paper money. You are now watching the Cash Services Department at the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. Here, around 800,000 banknotes are processed every day. When banks deposit excess cash, Federal Reserve staff carefully unload the money and feed the notes into high-speed sorting machines. These machines examine each banknote to verify its authenticity, detect counterfeits, and determine whether the note is fit to remain in circulation. In the past, the Cleveland Federal Reserve did more than just shred old money. Older reports show that the bank used to recycle about 1,500 pounds of shredded currency each day into paper products. On a wider scale, some Federal Reserve banks have also reused shredded currency in other ways, such as turning it into compost, building insulation, or small novelty items like piggy banks filled with shredded bills. The specific uses can vary depending on each reserve bank and local recycling programs. Banknotes that pass the fitness check are not destroyed. They're gathered again into straps and bundles. These fit notes are then combined with new notes from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing and sent back into circulation to meet cash orders from banks and other financial institutions. If someone has badly damaged or mutilated currency, for example, when less than half of the note remains, or it is in very poor condition, it is not processed by the Federal Reserve. Instead, it is sent to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. The BEP's Mutilated Currency Division examines the damaged notes, and if they can verify the value and confirm that the notes are genuine, they issue a reimbursement check. The notes are printed slightly bigger than their final size, then mechanically trimmed. This allows the BEP to remove any rough edges and ensure every bill has perfectly clean borders. Certain security techniques used in U.S. bills are not publicly disclosed. Even employees often only know their narrow part of the process. Right now, you are looking inside the vault at Fort Knox, which holds approximately 4,500 tons of pure gold. Today I'm going to take you through the entire process, from mining and discovering raw gold to melting and refining it, and finally polishing and shaping it into gold bars or coins. Right now, you're watching $600,000 worth of gold being poured. Operated by the U.S. Department of the Treasury, this vault is heavily secured and not accessible to the public. Right now, gold is trading at $4,100 an ounce, reaching its highest level in history. This is what the highly secure and top-secret weighing and storage of gold bars worth trillions of dollars looks like. A standard gold bar weighs about 27 pounds, but its value can exceed $500,000, depending on the market. New gold is mined every year, roughly 3,500 metric tons annually. So in that sense, more gold is added to the total stock each year. However, due to high demand, this increase is not sufficient. Gold was created billions of years ago during the explosive deaths of stars and in neutron-star collisions, where extreme heat and pressure forged heavy elements. Almost 50% of all gold above ground, or about 95,000 metric tons, is owned by private individuals and is typically held in the form of jewelry, bullion, and coins. Gold is found in the Earth's crust, usually formed by hydrothermal processes, hot mineral-rich fluids moving through cracks and solidifying into gold veins. Unlike many metals, gold is rarely found combined with other elements. It often occurs in its pure metallic form, known as native gold. Right now, you are watching gold being mined at an open-pit mine in Ghana. Africa is currently one of the largest exporters of gold to the United States. Today, humans extract gold by mining it from open-pit or underground mines and refining it through processes such as cyanide leaching, smelting, and electrolysis. Gold doesn't corrode, rust, or tarnish, which is why even bars buried for centuries remain shiny and untarnished. After Earth formed, most of its natural gold sank into the planet's core. The gold we mine today, however, largely came later, brought by asteroids during the late heavy bombardment around 4 billion years ago. Did you know that the average human body contains about 0.2 milligrams of gold, mostly in the blood and brain, making it tiny but real? The process is not that difficult, but it does require a furnace capable of reaching temperatures of around 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. For gold to be liquid, it must reach a temperature of 1,200 degrees. Nitrogen and borax are added to remove impurities, while sand and soda ash help retain the heat so the gold doesn't cool too quickly. This keeps it liquid and makes pouring easier. Unfortunately, 99% of the Earth's gold is in its core, so we need to try to get as much gold as possible from the land around us. Once everything is ready to be poured, you can now see the gold flowing, and there are no solids. In this activity, it is necessary to be prudent, and the worker must have great experience to know how to work with molten gold properly. This casting process can easily go wrong. They wear specialized heat-resistant suits, gloves, and face shields. Even a small mistake could result in severe burns or the loss of enormous value. The facilities where they work are among the most secure in the world. Workers are thoroughly vetted, and movements are monitored by cameras and security personnel. No one handles the bars alone. Every step, from casting to weighing to storing, is supervised. The heaviest gold bar ever made weighs about 55 pounds and was cast by Japan's Mitsubishi Materials Corporation in 2005. Even at that weight, the bar isn't massive. Its size is only about 15 inches in each dimension. Last year, China produced the most gold in tons, followed by Russia in second place, Australia in third place, and the United States as the fourth largest gold producer. The United States has the largest gold reserves in the world, totaling 8,133 tons. Most of this gold is kept in Fort Knox, Kentucky, the Denver Mint, and the West Point Bullion Depository. Producing pure gold is a highly specialized industrial process that requires heavy machinery, controlled chemical reactions, and strict safety protocols. Attempting anything like this at home isn't just impractical, it can be extremely dangerous. Fewer than 5% of U.S. gold reserves have ever been physically audited by external parties. The gold bar begins to harden quickly, and after about 30 seconds, it becomes quite firm. This gold brick is almost cooled and can now be worked and polished. To cool it down, it is simply placed in clean, cold water. In this case, this gold factory is trying to achieve 95% purity. They do this by using reagents, so they add sand, borax, sodium carbonate, and nitrate. Together, these substances retain heat, maintain fluidity, and remove impurities. That's why from the top there's that black slag around the gold brick you see right now. That black is obsidian, and it is desirable to remove it to achieve purer gold. The factory worker places it in a water bath, and within a few minutes it cools enough to touch. Then the gold brick is taken out and given a thorough cleaning. Gold bars are stamped for several important reasons. Each bar shows which company produced it, ensuring identification of the refinery. Every official bar has stamps showing the refinery, purity, serial number, and sometimes the year minted, which makes each bar uniquely traceable. Gold ingots from production factories usually come in several standard shapes and forms, such as rectangular bars, cast bars, minted bars, small bullion bars, or coins. Sometimes the year the bar was minted is also included. These markings ensure authenticity, traceability, and value verification, which are crucial for trading, storing, and auditing gold. The stamp also indicates the gold's purity, usually 99.5% or higher, and the exact weight of the bar. Unique serial numbers make each bar traceable and help prevent fraud. Since about 2010, central banks have been buying gold overall, reversing decades of selling. The main recent buyers are Russia, China, India, Turkey, and Poland. This shift is driven by the desire to diversify away from the US dollar and respond to economic uncertainty. Some counterfeiters create fake gold bars by covering tungsten, which has the same density as gold, with a layer of real gold. In 2020, more than 80 fake bars were found in Chinese banks. Gold authenticity is checked using X-ray fluorescence, weight and size measurements, and ultrasonic testing. Some countries, such as Russia and China, use gold to bypass sanctions, lessen dependence on the dollar, and create alternative economic systems. Gold is viewed as a safeguard against currency devaluation, inflation, and political instability. Gold bars worth billions of dollars are stored in bank vaults. Central banks, major commercial banks, and specialized bullion banks maintain highly secure underground vaults for this purpose. When gold is transferred between banks or countries, the process is extremely controlled and discreet. Transport is usually carried out by specialized security companies, using armored trucks, secure containers, and sometimes even military escorts for large transfers. Air transport is also common for international shipments, with gold shipped as cargo under tight security and insurance. 1 gram of gold can be stretched into a wire more than a mile long, or hammered into a sheet thinner than a human hair. Interestingly, much of the time gold doesn't physically move at all. Instead, ownership is simply transferred on paper between accounts held at the same vault. Physical movement only happens when absolutely necessary, since it's costly, risky, and logistically complex. Because gold does not oxidize when exposed to air or water, it doesn't rust or tarnish. That's why ancient gold artifacts buried for centuries in tombs or lying underwater in shipwrecks can be recovered looking almost as bright and intact as the day they were made. If you have any additional questions about the production of gold and gold bars, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. Some gold mines use special microbes that break down rock and naturally release tiny particles of gold. In a way, these microorganisms digest the minerals around the gold, leaving the metal behind, an actual biological process used in modern mining. Euro banknotes are made from a special cotton fiber material, which gives them a distinctive feel and makes them more durable than traditional paper-based notes. They are more resistant to wear and tear than US dollar bills, which tend to degrade more quickly over time. Euro banknotes are generally more durable and long-lasting than US currency, also due to their materials and advanced production techniques. The European Central Bank is responsible for overseeing the production and issuance of euro banknotes, including the 200 euro note. The 200 euro banknote is produced using a combination of intaglio printing, offset printing, and letterpress printing. A security thread embedded in the note runs vertically through the paper and becomes visible when held up to the light. This thread contains the printed 200 euro denomination. The production of 200 euro banknotes varies depending on demand, but millions of these notes are printed and distributed each year to meet the needs of Eurozone countries. Euro banknotes include multiple advanced security features such as holograms with a portrait of Europa, watermarks, microprinting, raised print, and embedded security threads. The visible security thread and the unique embedded paper design make Euro banknotes harder to counterfeit. Compared to US dollar notes, Euro banknotes generally use more advanced and varied anti-counterfeiting features, making them more difficult to replicate. Some denominations, such as the 100 euro and 200 euro notes, include a hologram of the euro symbol and denomination number that changes color and appearance when the note is tilted. The ECB continuously monitors the production and distribution of euro banknotes to prevent fraudulent activity. As of 2025, more than 25 billion euro banknotes are in circulation, representing a value of several trillion euros. Around 1 trillion euros worth of euro banknotes is estimated to circulate outside the Eurozone, primarily in countries that use the euro as a de facto currency. Euro banknotes are printed in several European countries, including Germany, France, and Austria. Each country operates its own high-security printing facility, but all follow strict ECB guidelines. Printing takes place in highly secure facilities to prevent the illegal production of counterfeit notes. While euro banknotes depict Europe's cultural and architectural heritage, euro coins feature different national designs on one side to reflect the individual identities of the Eurozone countries. Euro banknotes are printed in highly secure money factories. The 50 euro note is the most widely used denomination in the euro area. About 8 billion 50 euro notes are in circulation, representing nearly half of all euro cash. It costs between 6 and 10 euro cents to produce a single euro banknote, including ink, paper, and printing. The cost varies by size and security features. Damaged notes can often be replaced at a bank. Euro banknotes are automatically packed into boxes using robotic arms. More than 30 billion euro banknotes are in circulation, with a total value exceeding 1.7 trillion euros. The exact color composition of the ink is kept secret to prevent counterfeiting. There are 12 high-security banknote printing works across Europe accredited by the ECB. During quality control, workers carefully check the thickness and consistency of the applied ink. €100 banknotes are made from pure cotton fiber, which increases durability and gives them a distinctive texture. European banknote printing machines run almost continuously, stopping only for maintenance. The United States Mint is the primary agency responsible for producing coinage for the United States. Established in 1792, it operates minting facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point. These facilities produce circulating coins, metals, and commemorative gold, silver, and platinum coins. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins every year to meet circulation demand, serve collectors, and replace worn or damaged coins. In 2025, the U.S. Mint produced more than 14 billion coins, including pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and dollar coins. It costs more to make a penny than it is worth. The cost to produce a 1-cent coin is approximately 1.7 cents due to rising material and labor costs. Similarly, a nickel costs around 7.4 cents to produce. This has led to ongoing debate in the United States about whether these coins should continue to be produced. The U.S. Mint uses high-speed coin presses that can strike up to 750 coins per minute. In a single shift, a press can produce up to 5 million coins. Laser technology is also used to engrave highly detailed designs onto dies with exceptional precision. The penny has been in continuous production since 1793, making it one of the oldest coins in U.S. history. Its designs have changed many times, including well-known versions such as the Lincoln Memorial and the current Shield design. Old and worn coins are regularly collected and sent back to the U.S. Mint to be recycled. The metal from old coins is melted down and reused to produce new coins, helping to reduce material costs. This is the United States Mint in Philadelphia. The U.S. Mint works closely with the U.S. Treasury Department and Congress to select designs for new coins. The U.S. Mint uses specific metal alloys depending on the type of coin being produced. For example, pennies are made from copper-plated zinc, while quarters are composed of a copper-nickel alloy. The raw metals are purchased from suppliers and melted down to form ingots. The molten metal is then rolled into thin sheets, which are punched into small round blanks called planchets. These blanks are roughly the size and shape of the final coin, but do not yet have any designs on them. The planchets are fed automatically into a coining press, a machine capable of striking large numbers of coins very quickly. Metal dies are pressed onto the planchets under extreme pressure, imprinting the designs on both sides of the coin. This process also stamps the denomination and mint mark, such as P for Philadelphia. Coins, such as dimes, quarters, and half dollars, have ridged edges, which are added to prevent the illegal practice of clipping small amounts of metal from coins. The edges are milled after the coins have been struck. Finally, the coins are thoroughly inspected for defects or errors. Any imperfect coins are removed from the batch. In some cases, coins intended for collectors are polished to give them a smooth, shiny appearance.